How's everybody doing? I had an urge to make this video, and I was watching a video on YouTube. I was watching the Pink Pill, and she was talking about this subject about black women opening up their options. And I just had the urge to make this video. And I think everybody should open up their options. I've always said that. And I think especially black women, because in their community, if you look at the numbers, there's 21.72 million black women, right? There's 19.9 black men. So if you're race loyal, there's more black women than black men, okay? So you're at a disadvantage right away. And in the world, there's more women than men. So it is what it is. But black men date and marry out 2 to 3 times what black women do. So that even creates more black women than black men. Okay? And I'm not here to say one man is better than the other because of race, because that ain't true. It's what's in the heart and the character. Okay? I just want to make that disclaimer. But if you're running the numbers, it would be in black women's best interest to open up their options more than any group. And if you look at percent, 6 to 7% of the population in America of black women is 6 to 7%. It's a real small minority, okay? And now, if you open up your options, you have more choices. More black women have more men to choose from. If they stay racial loyal, then there's more black women than black men. So they have to compete because there's more of them than them. It makes sense, right? And then the men, there's less of them, so they can be picky and choosy. And in any group, when there's more of one than the other, the smaller group gets more choices, gets more of a say because there's less of them. So if black women open up their option, now instead of competing for a man, you have men competing for you. And I was just running numbers and I was thinking about this. Okay, 21.72 million, there are 21.72 million black women in America, okay? So almost 22 million, right? White men, there is 214.78 million. So there's millions of more white men than black women. And I'm not even dipping into Asian men, Hispanic. I'm just talking about white, non-Hispanic men. And there's so many more. Now, if you go in and you have white men competing for you and black men, you get more of a choice. And then open it up to Asian, Hispanic, guess what? They're competing for you instead of you competing for a man. And it just makes sense. And when we talk about, hypergamy, I've heard this on YouTube, people talking about hypergamy. Women should practice hypergamy. They should. Because women, you need to level up. And I'm not talking racial. I'm talking about leveling up for the best man for the job. And you want the man with resources because he's got to take care of you. He's got to take care of the children and the household. So you want that, right? It goes beyond the physical attraction. You want someone that's physically attractive, sure. You want someone that loves you with all his heart, and you want someone that can provide for you. You open up your options, you got men of every races. They're going to compete for you. Okay? And I will say this. There is racial barriers, especially when it comes to black women, white men. White men are kind of hesitant, and we have to be. Because from what I've seen in my experiences, when we date black women, we're more vetted than black men are. We really are. And, I'm not mad about that. I think we should be vetted. Everybody should be vetted. But, with the stereotypes and generalizations, we have a lot of negative stuff when it comes to stereotypes. So, of course, naturally they should vet because, they grown up thinking that we're monsters. So, but that's good. That creates a better relationship when you're vetting. You're getting to know who that person is. You're finding out who they are instead of are they attractive and fun to be with. You got to go deeper than that. But, practicing hypergamy, when you open up your options, you have more options, more quality of men to choose from. And I'm not saying one group's better than the other because it's not. It's what's in the man's heart and soul that makes him valuable, that makes him high quality. Okay? But, if you're trying to date up, you open up your options, you got access to different groups of men. And it makes sense. Then, the ones that want to be race loyal, guess what? They have better choices too. So it helps out everybody. Okay? And you're not going to stop people from interracially dating and marrying, especially in the black community. Black men are doing it left and right. 2 to 3 times what black women are doing. And I'm not against it. I'm all for it. You love who you love. You go where you want to be. But black women are getting left behind. And then the ones that are left, they have to compete for. And to me, I don't think any woman should have to compete for a man. I think men should have to compete for women. But open up your options, you get a better choice when it comes to hypergamy. And just the overall quality of man, you got all to choose from. You're going from a pond to an ocean. Makes sense, right? And then, colorism. I never knew colorism was a thing with black people till I married my wife. I always thought colorism comes from racism, comes from white supremacy. And we all know that's where it originated, right? Where white people think they were superior to other groups. Okay, we know that. But it seems odd that black people would be practicing that. And I'm not against a man having a preference. Okay? I know a lot of black men have told me that they like light-skinned women. Some have told me they like light to white. I've heard that. Okay, if that's what you're into, that's cool. But we shouldn't put nobody down. Now, when it comes to white men, I'll tell you this. A lot of us, we don't even think about colorism. We don't even think about skin tone. We don't even think about how dark she is or how light she is. All we see is a black woman and we're in love. We love black women. Those of us that date black women and marry black women, we just know that's a black woman. I've never even thought about the skin tone or anything like that. It just seemed odd to me. And I've noticed that a lot of white men that I know that are married and are dating dark-skinned black women. It seems like they have a preference for darker skin, where black men like lighter skin. And maybe, I've been told that it's, come from racism and this and that. And yeah, I probably did, but maybe it's a thing where opposites kind of attract. You got the white guy embracing the dark-skinned black woman, and then you got the black guy embracing the light-skinned woman. I don't know. Something's going on there. But for white men in general, we really don't care about the skin tone. We really don't. We don't even think about it. I never even thought how dark my wife is. Till somebody pointed it out. Till somebody made fun of me because my wife was dark-skinned. And, well, I love my wife's complexion. Dark skin is beautiful. And yeah, I'm a white guy, but I can see beauty. Even when it don't look like me. Come on. I mean, so, and that's one thing. A lot of men, white men, and other men of races, we don't think about how light or dark you are. We just love you because we're in the black women. That can be a positive thing. And then vetting, how I was talking about vetting. Black women will vet a white man much harsh than a black man in general. And I know because they don't really know them, because they've heard so many stereotypes and generalizations. But if you're going to vet that white man hard, you should do it for black men or Chinese men or any group. It makes sense. Vetting is a good thing to do. You got to find out who you're with, because it's going to affect your life. And especially you go and marry that person. So you want to choose right. And there ain't one color better than the other. We're all individuals. Our success determines the choices we make, and how we carry ourselves, our values. That's what determines the quality of a person. Okay, so I'm not here to say one's better than the other. I just think black women should open up their options. I think all of us should open up our options and date, look at other men and women, because there are quality men and women in every group, and black women are amazing, and I always say we're the power couple, and statistically we are, when our marriages last longer, and it's more successful. But that's not to say that other groups can't be a power couple, because they can. My definition as a power couple is a man and woman doing what they're supposed to, putting 100% in to their marriage, and making the best of it, using all the resources they have to get the best outcome, But I think you should open up your options. And if you look at the numbers, okay, now 214 million white men in America, right? And then 21 million black women. So do the math. Now, do all white men want to date black women? No, but a lot of us do. And let's say only 6% want to date black women. That covers all black women. Now, if black men and black women got together and married 100%, nobody dating out, there's still 2 million black women left that won't be married. So they should open up their options. It makes sense, right? And those of us in different racial groups are seeing the value of black women. I seen it long ago. My eyes were open way beyond, the stats that came out where the marriage successes and all that. I knew black women were valuable from the get-go. And I've always had a special place in my heart for black women. And I still do. Because of the heart they have. Because they put their heart and soul in their relationship. Even the ones that ain't good, they put it all in. If a black woman loves you, you will know it. And black women, you're valuable. You are the prize. Open up that option. Get the best man for the job. The man you want. Don't settle for just what's left. Anyway, and those that date out, marry out, it opens things up for everybody. Even the people that are race loyal, it even improves their options. And it makes us as men have to compete, have to be better men. Because if we can get with a woman without putting work in, naturally, humans take the path of least resistance. If we don't have to work for it, we're not going to. And I'm speaking honest. Ladies, make your men work for you. Vet them. Make them go the extra mile. Open up your options. There are so many quality men and women out there. Why not, explore the ocean instead of the pond that you're in? And I say that with all racial groups of people. Open up their options. Find the person that celebrates you and loves you the best. That you can have the best life. And I'm telling you, if you're with someone that loves you and gives you their all, you'll be in paradise. Some of us think that our relationships have to, be tragic to be right. No. There's going to be ups and downs. Sure, you're going to have your troubles, but it don't have to be a struggle. It don't have to be problematic. It can be good. It can be a blessing. You can be happy. Open up the options. And black women, and I guarantee more than 6% of white men will date you. In fact, they've done studies where more white men were willing to date black women than black women willing to date white men. So you are the prize. And your beauty, what's awesome about black women is you're different from everybody else. That catches the eye. You have a unique beauty. And all women are beautiful, sure. But you're unique. And it catches our eye. And how you carry yourself. A positive black woman that's friendly and carries herself is so attractive. I mean, she don't have to be super fine. She could be average. But those aspects make her fine. And I say it all the time, and I've seen black women that, carry themselves well, that are confident, that are positive. And, but open up your options. You're worth more than what you're getting. And you know what? You should never have to level down. When it comes to my community, you're not going to get a Becky or a Karen and make less than she does. It just ain't going to happen. She might have a relationship with you. She might date you, but she ain't going to marry you. It's just not going to happen. And it's that way in most cultures. Women are looking for the best man for the job. They want somebody that's going to provide. You're not going to get some woman from an upper class neighborhood to go to a lower class and find a husband. It just ain't going to work. Now, us as men, I can, be in an upper middle class community, and I can go into the inner city, find a woman that has the same values, marry her, and live happily ever after, and be a man, and she can be a woman, and it works out because I'm the provider, and she embraces me because I provide for her. That's why usually, men, we're with the same women at our level, or they might be a little lower than our level. And it works. It works beautifully. Because the women embrace us providing, and we could be the providers. We could feel like a true man. Now, if you take someone like me that's middle class, having a relationship with someone that's wealthy, it don't make sense. She has to lower herself to me. And I'm telling you, my community, it ain't going to happen. Women ain't going to do that. And black women, you should never have to do that. And open up the options. That way, you get better choices. And then men of all groups have to improve to compete. And I'm telling you, 214 million to 21 million, ladies, every black woman on earth can have a white guy. Period. End of story. It don't matter how attractive she is or what. You guys can have it. Because there's so many. And I'm not even digging into the Asians, to the Hispanics. And Hispanics are almost as much as white people. In fact, here in a few years, Hispanics are going to be the majority in our country. So just think. I'm just talking white people, non-Hispanic. There's so many. There's millions of people. What is there, 8 billion on this earth? I mean, the opportunities are there. Open it up. Take that chance. Get to know that person, but vet. Because you know what? You can find a high-quality man in a different group, but you can also find garbage too. But anyway, I'm not going to talk too much. I just felt I had to talk about this. Open up your options. You open up your options, Instead of competing for the prize, you become the prize. And guess what? Men are competing for you instead of you competing for men. Makes sense to me, right? But anyway, guys, and two, I made a video about Ralph Banks. He wrote that book, is Marriage for White People. And he was looking at numbers, and it makes sense. He encourages black women to marry out because they get better options. Because there's, if you stay in one place and you're the majority, you might not get chosen. Especially with a group of men that dates and marries out 2 to 3 times what you do. I mean, common sense. But anyway, that's just my video. But black women, you're amazing. Black women, you're beautiful. You got something other women do not. And embrace your beauty. Whether you're light skinned or dark skinned, you're all beautiful. I always found dark skinned black women very beautiful. I do. Embrace that. Embrace your beauty. Just because some knucklehead don't like it, there are many men out there that do. You'd be surprised how many find you beautiful. You'd be surprised how many men value you. And you know what? We're hesitant. I'm going to be honest. This is white men. Because we don't want to offend you. We want to make sure it's right. Because we're already labeled, a monster. So any little slip up, it can end our chances. So a lot of times that's why white men are hesitant. It's not because, they don't want to date you. They do. But we are very careful. And we got to be, because you guys are going to vet us more than any other group. And it makes sense. And it's logical because you've been told how awful we are. So, but you should vet every man, regardless of who he is, regardless of the racial background. Because men can be evil in every color. Men can be good in every color. And quality don't come from color. It comes from character. It comes from the heart and soul. And go with the man that loves you and celebrates you. We should all go where we're celebrated and loved. That to be happy. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this. Thank you guys. God bless you. And I'll see you soon.